And we're live.
I'll look at people's mouths if they like have an accent or something, because I want to see like how their mouth is moving and like how they're making it. That's the easy, like you just like make your mouth move the same way theirs is and like look at where like their tongue's placed and everything.
Your fascination about that, and this is like the 50th clue around it, is super interesting to me. Like, like I hear you practice accents in the car, when you can do them wrong with no audience and just sort of, and I've never done that. When you watch me do accents on the show, this is all brand new material, guys.
Usually the way it goes is like you'll try a certain voice or impression and it's like, oh, that one, that's never going to happen. I don't have the chops for that one. And then other ones you'll try and be like, okay, that's not so horrible. And like the easiest way to do it is to just like, oh, I'm going to do a retard voice. Okay, I'll do Nathan from South Park. Like find some or I'm going to do Jesse Ventura. Okay, well, Anthony Cumia already has a perfect Jesse Ventura. How does he do it? Like, I don't know.
It's funny. When you'll teach me how to do accents, you'll say, oh, Woody, okay. With this accent, the sound comes from near your teeth. And with this other accent, it comes from deeper in your throat. And I'm like, you're fucking weirdo. All the sound passes all of those things.
You know how you do the Russian accent? All of it back of throat. Very far back, you're pronouncing vowels here. And then Southern, now look at where the vowels are coming out there. It's right at the front. You know what I mean?
This is a foreign language to me. I could do both. Okay, when you're Russian, it comes from the back. and when you're Southern, it comes from the front. I don't think I did.
Kyle, you're nodding. You know what I'm.
Yeah, I know exactly what you're talking about.
Kyle can do it too.
Yeah, it's the way you do your.
Those
tongue,
are my two favorite accents, right? So with the Russian one, you're almost like paralyzing the front half of your tongue anyway, and like almost using the back edges of it to sort of warble. And with the Southern thing, there's a lot of tongue going on, like it's moving around everywhere.
The Southern thing is like the front of the tongue, I think. Yeah, like
Taylor said that too.
Yeah. And there's like a million flavors of Southern.
I got caught shoplifting at the Chevy dealership. Like that's all front of the the tongue.
What'd you do? Try to steal a pickup truck?
You're getting into like mountain Southern there.
We're in Kentucky now.
Between two ferns. What's the most powerful thing on your face? It's your nose. Oh, yeah. You can become anyone you want. Does anybody know where I can get me some iced tea? Doing that? I got caught shop. Those were Between Two Ferns was like good early YouTube funny shit. I really liked those. Like the deadpan silliness where like everybody who's watching it knows that it's a put on. Like, but it's funny.
In our last batch of PKA hangouts, one of the guys, I had stepped away to piss or something, and like one group had gotten replaced with another, and I just heard the strongest Southern accent I had heard in so long, like from across the room through my headset. He's like, yeah, I don't know nothing about all that, but I've been down here for about 3 years now. And I was just like, all right, who the fuck is this? Who is it?
The guy from Kentucky?
Yeah, the guy
Kyle was hilariously like direct about it. He's like, you know what? I used to sound a lot like you, and I worked hard to stop sounding like you. But you are at an age where you'll always sound like that. It's kind of a curse. And I'm just like, ouch. Okay, so that's what we're doing.
The Kentucky
where he's
Southern
from?
accent?
He's the fucking Shakespeare of his corner of the world, my friend. He told us where he was from.
He sounds like an offensive caricature of someone from Kentucky. It's like, come on, they're not like that. Nice guy though, I liked him.
Yeah, he was a nice guy for sure, but he had one of those accents where it's like, oh my, this has not been tempered at all.
I used to think that when I hear like impersonations of a Cajun accent or whatever, I'm like, people are gonna find this offensive. Like if you do this from a Cajun person, and then I see someone doing it to a literal Cajun person, like in fucking Louisiana, they're like, hey man, that's not where that goes over there now. What are you doing? And like there's something like that. And it's like, oh God, they're gonna get offended. And then they'll reply in that exact same fucking accent. I'm like, oh yeah. That's just
Louisiana, how they sound. The whole state of Louisiana sounds like they just moved here. Like they just got to America, still figuring out the ropes. But
pretty much, yeah.
It is like, I mean, there's a million accents across the U.S., But what I think is wild is like the UK is so tiny in comparison. Like we have states that are 3 times bigger than the UK, and even in the UK, they've got like regional accents. Whereas I feel like you can drive around the entire state of, you know, you can drive around a huge state and it's all going to be more similar than the UK is. Whereas cities, where it's like a Manchester accent is grossly different than a
Birmingham,
or whatever.
Birmingham.
Yeah,
Birmingham.
It's interesting.
Yeah, and like it obviously you know that, but it's because they don't cross pollinate as much. You know, I forget who I was talking to, but someone hadn't seen their father in 2 years because they live so far away. 90 minutes.
What?
90 minutes away, and
you can drive like 4 hours and get to like the east and the west coast of the UK, pretty much like 4 or 5 hours. But then the accents will be radically different if you talk to like a UK bartender. So the UK people are alcoholics. So if you talk to a UK bartender, if people come in from like up north, they won't really be able to understand them. You know,
That's
like
so bizarre.
Give me a log of that, Matt. Like it'll sound like that in the traditional British area.
Oh, I will say this: like Kitty has me talk to her like creditors and stuff. Like if there's an issue with like the water bill or whatever, she's like, "Yes, the water bill," and they're like, "Is there anyone in your household who speaks English, little girl?" You fucking cunts! And I'm on the phone. I'm like, "Yeah, it's the water bill. We didn't receive one this month. There was no what." I'm looking at her in the eyes. Water bill.
What?
Because it's
Bottle of water.
We didn't get a water bottle.
And her voice is already like high, and so it's probably even harder. I mean, like what BlameTruth was saying, like what is that old saying where like in the US 100 years is a long time, and in the UK 100 miles is a long distance.
Oh, that's good.
Like not going to see someone because of a 90-minute.
Yeah, but that's not really fair though,
almost
because
3 hours away, and they're in the same state as me.
I don't care where you're from. 100 years is a long time, but 100 miles shouldn't be a long way if you've got fucking roads and cars.
I think they
have no excuse
and shit. Where like you'd be like 100 years ago we had this president, and it's the UK is like 1,000 years ago we had this king. Like just a much longer history.
I talked to a British friend of mine because I thought about going to the UK, and I was like, I'd probably go here. Like, where are you at? And he's just like, oh, I'm not really near that at all. I'm about an hour and a half away. I'm like, like, okay, well,
I'm an eternity away from there.
Yeah.
And it's like a 90-minute drive in my shitty little European car.
Oh, their cars suck fucking dick. It's terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Europeans have great cars.
I just mean like the daily drivers, and my entire view of this is from like the challenges they do on Top Gear. And it's like
that is a documentary.
It is, and that's such a great show.